All right, so this is an extension of lesson 526. I purposely did not get us here, but this is operations with complex numbers. So basically, how do I add them? How do I subtract them? How do I multiply them? So let's start with the easier one, which is multiplication. And it is important to remember our answer needs to be in this format to make it complex. So sum of a real number and imaginary, such as 2 plus 3i, is called a complex number. So 2 is real, and 3i is imagined. And so we put them together, we get the complex numbers. And we live in when we deal with these, we kind of think of them all as complex numbers now because imaginary is like this number. So anyway, and we're just going to use what we already know. So I'm going to just combine like terms. Let's actually do that one. It's pretty fine. So plus isn't going to change anything. So I'm just going to combine like terms. And so my like terms are my real parts and my fake parts. Real parts and imagined parts. So -2 plus -1. And -7i plus 4i. So -2 plus -1 is -3. Okay, and then -7i plus 4i is -3i. And there's my answer. Okay. There you go. Then for B, I'm going to subtract. It's the same idea. So I've got -8 plus 2i minus 1 plus 6i. So just distributing the -1 sign. Combining like terms. -8 minus 1. Positive 2i plus 6i. And again, if you don't need to write that, it's fine. Remember, I'm showing. So I'm showing more than I need. -9 plus 8i. So I would normally look at this and I go, okay, -8. -1, that's -9. Positive 2, that'll be positive, so 8. That's really what I do. I don't show this. You know, we're learning. So we're down. Then let's jump to this one. That looks pretty straightforward. Is it as straightforward as it looks? Yes, it is. Let me go ahead and distribute. I get 6 plus 2i. And over here on D. Oh, by the way, that's my answer. I'm finished. D is the hardest one, and that's multiplication. But we just use what we already do. So we're going to use the double rainbows or an area model. It's up to you. I'm going to use double rainbows. So I get 1 times 8, which is 8. That's the little right, 1 times 8. And 1 times -6. I. -I times -8 is, so -I times 8. And then -I times -6i. I think this red pen is finally going to give up the ghost. Means run out of ink. Okay, so I've got 8 minus 6i minus 8i, and then this is the weird part, -I times I, so we've got positive, negative times a negative, positive 6i squared. So let's go back to our definitions. I is equal to the square root of -1. Therefore, following I squared equals -1. I cubed equals -I. And I to the 4th power equals 1. So let's just right here, these are the ones we've talked about. And so think about I cubed, which is I squared times I. So -1 times I to the 4th, which is I squared times I squared, so -1 times -1. By the way, these are the only answers I'll ever get when I have I, because after I out of the 5th goes back here. So anyway, back here I have 8 minus 14i minus, because I times -1, 6 times -1 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. And so my answer should end up being a complex number. a real piece plus a complex piece. So be really careful with this and then what happens to it. Okay, and that's really all there is to it. Operations with complex numbers are quite simple, it's because you're just going to use what you already know. So then we have these problems to practice. We've got 2 additions, 1 and 3, and 2 subtractions, 3 and 4. Some fairly simple multiplications. And then some more complicated multiplications. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of do this a little bit funky. So we're going to just pause between each problem. You're going to choose the answer. Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it. Okay, so number 1, go for it. And the answer will be here in a minute. 8 plus 7, 9. No big deal. Go on to number 2. Good luck. -1 plus 16i. Because we've got 2 minus 3, -1, positive 8, positive 8, positive 8i, positive 8i. All right, now try 3. So 8 plus 3, 11, 2i minus 7i, -5i. Try 4. So 4, -6 and -6 and -8 is -12, -4i and positive 5i is I. All right, so now we've got some basic multiplication. We're just going to start by distributing. So don't forget, all of the old rules still work. The only weird thing is that I squared is -1. So you have to remember to switch it around. That's the only hard part. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. I is equal to the square root of -1, and I squared is equal to -1. Those just are very clear statements. Good luck. Okay, so -8i times 5, -5 is positive 40, -8 times -8i times positive 4i is -32i. -32i squared, excuse me, -32i squared is equal to positive 32, and then 40i, because it should go second. But if you wrote 40i plus 32, no one's gonna, that's okay, you're still right, it's okay. Let's try 6, good luck. The same idea, distribution, 32i, distribution, -12i squared, 12i plus 32i, -12i squared becomes positive 12. It's the trickiest part. All right, you've got 4 more to try, so let's see what we got here. Let's bring this up. 4 more to try. So I'll do one more example. Yeah, one more example. And we're going to use the area model this time because the other example I did without the area model. That'll be good. So we've got 5 minus 4i and -4 minus 7i. And so 5, that's -20, -35i, positive 16i, and positive 28i squared, which leads me to -20 minus 19, I think. Yeah, 19i minus 28, because 28i squared is -28, leaving with -48 minus 19i. Okay, now go ahead and try 8. Okay, so I distributed. I, -1 times 4 is -4. -1 times -6i is positive 6i. Positive 6i times 4 is 24i. Positive 6i times -6i is -36i squared. Then I rearrange. -4 plus 36, because that becomes positive. and then 6i and 24i makes 30i, and then there's my answer. Okay, 2 more. Ready? Go. So I have negative 2 times negative 6, which is positive 12, negative 2 times negative 2i, which is positive 4i, negative 6i times negative 3i times negative 6 is 18i, and negative 3i times negative 2i is positive 6i squared. So 12 stays the same, 4i and 18i make 22, and this becomes negative 6, so 12 minus 6 is 6. Again, that remembering to do that is probably the hardest part, because it's the part that's new. The rest of this is just, hey, I'm multiplying it, which I know how to do. And then last but not least, let's get 10. And there we go. So we have negative 20 plus, negative 20 minus 16i, positive 10i, and positive 8i squared. Positive 8i squared becomes negative 8, so 20 minus 8. Negative 16i and 10i make negative 6i, negative 28i, negative 28 minus 6i. So that's that, complex numbers. And again, it's pretty straightforward because it's the same rules. It's exactly the same. It's just that weird I squared becomes negative 1. Okay? All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.